4-way chime. You say you just need a little more time. Well, we've got forever. There's no now or never. We've got forever. There's no now or never. Close the curtains and draw the blinds. Doesn't matter if it's day or night. Turn off the phone, just us alone. Now, baby, we'll leave the world behind. Time means nothing, no matter how long it takes. I give you all my love and I don't mind the wait. 'Cause time means nothing. Time means nothing. Clear the calendar, there's no place to be. Won't you come back and lay here with me? When we're together, there's nothing better, baby. We've got forever, yes, we've got forever. And time means nothing, no matter how long it takes. I give you all my love and I don't mind the wait. 'Cause time means nothing. Time means nothing. We've got forever. There's no now or never. We've got forever. There's no now or never. We've got forever. Yes, we've got forever. And time means nothing, no matter how long it takes. I give you all my love and I don't mind the wait. 'Cause time means nothing. Time means nothing. Time means nothing.
Hey, everybody. Today we are excited to have Shelley King back on the show. Madam Mystic is here in the house. 10th album, and we have not talked to Shelley. Well, we do here and there, right? But since the pandemic, remember you called in, Kick Up Your Heels. We talked about that. We always talk about food and baking and stuff. And you're always on around the holiday season, but it's been a few years. How are you?
It has been a few years, but time means nothing. So
No kidding.
it
Time
feels
means
like
nothing.
feels like just yesterday. So
Yeah.
I've been great. How have you been?
Traveling, it seems that you've been doing the same thing. And the pandemic, you were doing all those live stream shows, and you still do them kind of like a pop-up once in a while.
I
But you were
do.
doing all those shows, and everyone was having happy hour and have another cocktail and listen to Shelley. It was awesome.
We're bringing those back. Anytime I'm not on the road and I can do it, I'll do one. I'll let you know.
Yeah, yeah. So time means nothing. That came from the pandemic, right?
It did. I mean, there we were, years apart, but when we got back together, it felt like no time had gone by at all. So it really was a twist on time for me. I'm sure probably a lot of folks.
Madam Mystic, I'm like that. I love that song, number one, because it's fun and we like anything just kind of that people go, God, is it voodoo? Or are you all going to go to hell? No, because you know what I mean? You're not supposed to believe in that stuff, but I love
Right.
Madam Mystic. But I think you've got like some spirituality going on in this album and a lot of positivity as well, and realism at the same time. Like there's a lot of emotion in here.
Yeah, I think that's kind of, it's things that, that I personally was going through during that whole time, because most of this album was probably written during the pandemic, and I started recording it as soon as we could get back out there, I was
Mhm.
like, yes, let's get in the studio. In fact, the first session in the studio, we all had to wear masks because the bass player's kid had COVID. So
Oh
we're
man.
all masked up and terrified that we're all going to get it. And luckily we did not, but
Good.
that was a tough time for everyone. And
Mm.
with this record, I had, those times where I was really missing my friends and wanted to be with them, or being sentimental about my own relationships that I was soaking in,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and just a lot of digging deep for the real meaning and what we're doing and what we're going on from here. But also it was important to find a way to find joy and celebrate. So there's a lot of celebration in the record too.
I remember the one show you were on, you guys were about to go and perform, and COVID was still there, but it was like one of the beginnings of people going out. I think it was like the first show, and I think you and Carolyn were doing it, I think, and you were like, I don't know how we're doing it, but we're gonna screw it. We're doing it. Like you were out, and I think wearing masks, and like the crowd was, I don't know, but it was an outdoor thing. And you were like, I don't know, but we're gonna do it. And you did. I remember watching the next day, like, go girl, get it. Because I mean, live music going away was like the worst thing on the planet. But doing the live stream, I mean, did that give you a different sense of, connection with people, even though it was like not in person?
It was a real sense of connection, and it was real. We were really active with the chat rooms, and we would live stream on like Facebook, YouTube, and also there's a local channel that we live stream to. It's Austin Music TV, channel
Mhm.
16. And so we were like multi-streaming to these different platforms and watching the chat rooms, and people really made it their habit to be there and to chime in and to say where they're from and what's the weather. And
Yeah,
we all were connected. Every time I did a live stream, I had fans from Florida and California and the East
that's
Coast
awesome.
and even like Scotland. There's this guy from Scotland who was on all the time. So it just brought everyone together, and everyone got to know each other. They all, like, on Facebook or Instagram, they were all friending each other and following
Yeah,
each
that's
other,
cool.
and you'd start seeing comments and know that, oh, these are people that are regulars on the live stream. So it was cool. It made its own community. It was very,
Yeah, and
very
it's a way to
connecting.
help, because like everyone's out of work at that point, but a lot of musicians were doing that. And then a lot were also writing. So you're obviously writing too, but your album kind of takes you all over too. When you recorded, you were traveling, and like Texas Eagle, you were traveling with that one a little bit too. I love that song, by the way. I mean, it's like
Thank you.
yeah, I think you
That's a
got around.
That's a funny one on how that one got written. I actually rode on the Texas Eagle, which is an Amtrak train that goes from like Chicago to LA. But in Texas, you can catch it in Dallas and ride it to Austin for like, I don't know, like $25. It's really
Really?
cheap. Yeah. And
Without
so
going through Dallas traffic. Holy cow, I'll do
right.
anything to not
But
do that. Oh,
it does take some time. You got to allot some time for it. So I was like, because in Texas you have to stop, and because freight trains have the right of way, so passenger trains have to stop and let freight trains
okay.
through. So like we'd be sitting in somebody's field for like 30 minutes, and you're
Oh,
like,
but
why
that's
are we
kind of cool
stopped?
though, in a way. That's kind of
It
interesting.
was. I just took a notebook and wrote lyrics because I'm like, I'm gonna come out of this with a train song. I know I am.
Yeah.
So I just wrote lyrics the whole time. And later, like that night or the next night, I went over to my friend's studio because he had invited me to come to his studio and do some recording. Well, I thought that he wanted me to sing backup on some of his own demos of his songs. And he thought that we were going to demo some of my new songs. And so we both had a different idea of what was going to happen. And I didn't take a guitar. I showed
Hmm.
up over there like ready to sing, and he's like, "Where's your guitar?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So after we figured out that we both had different plans, we said, "Well, hey, let's write a song." So I'm like, here's some lyrics I came up with on the train. And he came up with the music, and he started playing guitar, and I sang a melody to it, and we demoed that. So that was actually years ago. And I've
Wow.
never recorded that song. And so on this record, I wanted to record that song. So how I did it is I asked Marvin, since he came up with that part on acoustic guitar, to just track that acoustic guitar for us. Play the song, just acoustic guitar. I'm going to take it to another studio, and we're going to add all the other stuff. So that's what we did with that song. That's the only song that I've ever done like that. But it was a cool exercise.
It's a fun song. I like it.
It started, with his guitar part. And so we just built on it from there. But what I did with this record is I recorded the basic tracks, meaning the bass, drums, keyboards, acoustic guitars, and the vocals, all in Fort Collins, Colorado, with members of the Subdudes. These guys that I've been playing with for years. Yeah,
I was like,
I love them.
Yep, they're on. I mean, this is your 10th album. Have they been on since Building a Fire, or before that?
We did the first record we did together was Welcome Home. So Welcome Home is like a time capsule, because we all got in the studio and made that record, and I was gonna add other players, but after I listened back to it, I'm like, I don't want anybody else to touch it. I want it to be like this time capsule of our time. But then when I did Building a Fire, I go, okay, now this time I'm going to add some other players. So the same thing, we started in Colorado, and then I added some of my players back here in Austin, and we got Cindy Cashdollar. She lives up in Woodstock, but we recorded those parts in Austin for Building a Fire. But for this record, did it a little differently. I started with those basic tracks, and then I took it to whoever I wanted it on it. And right. So I took it to Woodstock, New York, into a studio there.
You had to go to Woodstock. There was no way you were not going to go to Woodstock. The first thing I wanted to know is, like, are you going back to Woodstock?
Of course. Any chance. But so I took it to Cindy, and she recorded on it. And then I took it to Muscle Shoals, and I got Will McFarlane, who played with Bonnie Raitt. He's in the Swampers, the Muscle Shoals Swampers. He's an amazing guitarist. He plays on about 5 or 6 tracks. Carolyn Wonderland was with me on that trip, and so I got her to play on a couple of guitar tracks, and she's singing backup on a bunch of it too.
She's a badass.
She is. There's no doubt. And in Austin, I got Shawn Camp to play on it, and Shawn lives in Nashville, and I probably would have taken it to Nashville, but Shawn was conveniently in Austin, and working in a studio. So I contacted that studio, and I'm like, hey, can we work on this? And like, yep. So we set the time up and made it happen. And that song that I did with Shawn Camp, he and I wrote that together. And crazy thing, that's the song on there called I Believe.
Oh, yeah.
That song, I Believe.
I love that. Is deep. Then you've got, anyway, yes, I like I Believe.
Well, I Believe, Shawn and I wrote that, and I met Shawn. We were both performers on the Delbert McClinton Sandy Beaches cruise, which I'd like to do every January. It's a great place to be. And
yeah, no kidding.
He heard that I was born and raised in Arkansas, and I moved to Texas. So I kind of was born in Arkansas, but raised between Arkansas and Texas, kind of moved back and forth a bit. But he heard about my Arkansas roots, and he came up and asked me on the cruise, like, hey, I heard you're from Arkansas. And we started talking, and when'd you graduate high school? Oh, we must be the same age. When's your birthday? Whoa, we have the same birthday. He says, what hospital were you born in? And I'm thinking, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. I've never heard anybody ask me what hospital I was born. I had to think for a second. And when I told him, he was like, me too. So it turns out he was my very first roommate. Right there in the nursery.
See, but this goes with the metamystic thing. So doesn't it go with all of that?
Our little incubators side by side. We have this idea that, or maybe I have this idea, that there was a nurse who was rocking us and singing to us. And that's how we both got the songwriter bug, because he's a famous songwriter in Nashville now. He's written tons of songs that you would know. And just check him out, Shawn Camp. Shawn is with a W. Shawn
But
Camp.
I love this about Arkansas, because we've been doing a lot in Arkansas lately, traveling all over. And every time we're up there, I think of you, and I'm like, okay, was Shelley up here? Like, where was she? Because we do a lot in Bismarck, tiny area.
We played them in basketball.
Okay, well, geez, I don't know. But all I know is we stay at this wonderful bed and breakfast. Shout out to Tiffany's Bed and Breakfast. You go through there, you stay there, you tell them they're huge music fans. Huge, huge, huge. There's the night you get there at the bed and breakfast, it is music to, like, you wouldn't believe it in a bed and breakfast, but it's a music night. And then, like, we go up, we've been up through Fayetteville. Did I even pronounce it right?
Oh yeah,
Fayette.
you got it.
That area,
Beautiful,
and went through every storm you can imagine. Ribbon lightning. So is that what you grew up with?
Yes. Yes. Crazy.
God, I mean, I know we're not talking about, kick up your heels and the hurricanes and all of that, but like, think about it. I mean, the weather, we've been through it now. I'm like, whatever, ice storms, tornadoes, hurricane, whatever,
Definitely.
man. Holy cow. But that does make for cocktail hour.
Yeah, I grew up with a lot of big storms. Definitely.
Yeah. So did you always go back down to Austin, or like how?
Where was my growing up between?
Yeah.
It was between rural Arkansas. Like, I was born near Little Rock, but I spent a lot of time. My junior high and high school years were near between Glenwood and Norman, Arkansas, near a little place called Caddo Gap. You ever been to Caddo Gap?
Oh, I might have.
Caddo Gap's cool. The road winds through, and the Caddo River runs right along it.
Ooh.
And it cuts through the mountains. It's the Ouachita Mountains there, which is foothills of the Ozarks. And right through that gap,
yes, I've been there.
There was a serious fight between DeSoto and his men and the mighty Caddo Indians. Yep. And it was a bloody battle. And unfortunately, the mighty Caddo Indians fought hard, lost a lot of people, but they were outnumbered. But my high school, our mascot was the Caddo Indians. I don't think they're ever going to change it there. A lot of folks are trying to change their names. That's pretty far backwoods Arkansas. I really don't think that name's ever going to change.
But the backwoods Arkansas is good music.
It's so gorgeous.
The history, the music history of Arkansas is intense, man.
Right.
You had some good stuff, and then going down to Texas. So like, this is in your roots. Do you like? I went
from there, from there to Houston, which we had hurricanes in Houston. Right. Yeah, so I kind of moved between there. My mom had married a guy from Houston, and so I would go live with my mom, and then I'd go back and live with my grandmother. And so I was kind of moving back and forth, but I kind of got the best of both worlds. I got the beautiful countryside and the rural upbringing, and also the big city. Mm-hmm. So
and now you're based out of Texas.
And now Austin. Yeah, I've been in Austin since '92 when I started my professional music career, probably 1990, down in Houston. And when people started seeing me play, they'd say, "Why aren't you in Austin?" I was like, "I don't know, what's Austin?" So I came to Austin as soon as I could, totally fell in love with it, and started, getting here like as often as possible until I could actually move. And I moved to Austin in '92, November of '92.
Oh, you've been there for a bit. Yeah.
Been a long time. So now I've seen the city change. When I moved here, there were 500,000 people, and there's well over 1 million people now.
It's insane. We were just there February, March, and the housing developments, and it's kind of like Asheville, North Carolina is going through that same thing where people are building in between homes, and it's kind of like, kind of let the vibe stay, man. Like, you want to hold on to it. So do you feel that, like, you want to hold on to, like, what, like, there's like a shift happening there, growth?
Oh yeah. Well, we've been seeing it for a long time coming in Austin. There's sort of like the old Austin and the new Austin that has no clue that there ever even was an old Austin. So yeah, a lot of us still congregate. And like last night was an amazing night in Austin. The Clifford Antone Foundation, which does a ton of stuff for kids, had a fundraiser at Antone's, which is a legendary blues club. A lot of us have gotten our start there. It's pretty awesome. Stevie Ray Vaughan, tons of people. Gary Clark Jr.
Oh
But
yeah, yeah.
so last
You got
night,
to play with him.
oh yeah, did. I got
Just a little
played with him,
jealous,
got to
that's all.
yeah, I got to sing backup and doo-wop a little bit. It was pretty
Oh,
great. But last night, Los Lobos was at La Zona Rosa for this fundraiser, and I looked around the room and I just saw so many people that I've known for so long, and I'm like, wow,
nice.
this is old Austin right here.
Oh, that's cool.
It was cool.
So it's
And I
still
just like,
there.
oh yeah, you just have to get everybody together. You know,
Ah,
it's so
well,
good.
I think that's the thing about the power of music too. It gets people out that are true like fans of it, and it's like you just yeah, music is the way to overcome so much, and I think your album has that and the meta-mystic part. I love meta-mystic. I really do. And when you had the video come out dancing, I was like, this is so cool. This is fun because it's fun, but it's also like that brings in travel too, right? Because you never know, and it's that do you believe in the cards? Do you believe in the crystal ball? But whenever you put your mind to it, stuff happens. I do believe in
Yeah.
that. It weirdly does and can happen
I
depending
had
on your set.
a friend of mine gave me some tarot cards,
Cool.
and so I was kind of messing around with them and playing with them. I go, you know what? I'm going to take these with me to Colorado, and I'm going to do a little reading before I go into the recording studio and just,
Do you know
just
how to
check it
really
out.
read
Just
them, or do you
see what
just go
happens.
like
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, you look them all up and read them. Yeah.
they're like
Yeah, I know how to
when you
read them.
get the Tower of Death or whatever, don't freak out. What is
Right.
it? The Falling Tower or whatever. Don't
It's like a
freak.
transition. It's okay. Yeah. So I read the cards, and everything about my reading was spot on. I was mind blown all the way down until this one card where it's basically said things are going to work out, but not like you think, because there's one person that's not going to work out like you think. And I'm
Oh,
like, oh, these can't be right. Okay, never mind. And like
shuffle the deck.
later that night, I got a message from one of the players that I was going to have in on the session, and they couldn't make it. And I'm like, no. And luckily, I made a couple of calls, and boom, got another player that I was so happy with too. But for a minute there, I thought everything was just out of my control, and nothing's really in your control. But
Ever. Yeah.
for a minute there, I thought, oh no, all my plans, and then it all went back, and it was okay. It did turn out okay, but that
Yeah.
whole idea just made me start going, ooh, are those
Oh,
cards
yeah.
right? Oh,
Well, yeah,
wow.
but then you can't like get too into it because then you start living your life that way, right?
Exactly. You
Yeah,
can't count on it. You got to be able to go. If you disagree with your reading, you got to be able to laugh it off and
right.
go, not real. Don't let it bother.
Well, and then
But
people
if you
start
like
doing
it, then go, hey, they're perfect. Okay.
well, Help Me Please goes with that. That's one of my favorite songs on the album.
Oh,
I mean, that
thank
is like
you.
it's all you're going into like gospel roots, right? For me. And the tarot cards kind of leans into this. This is where I went into the spirituality and everything. The tarot cards goes with that because how many times do people do tarot cards and things like that when things are just going down, man? You start like, please, it's like, when things are intense, it's like, help me, please, and I promise to not do this again. I won't eat chocolate cake again. Bull, I will.
I
I'm
swear I
like,
won't drink tequila again. Never again. Margarita, please.
wine, please, in the cup. Hey, it's a Friday afternoon here. I don't care. So no, but that song to me is like it is like you've got that old school, like sentimental, real, like down home, just pure integrity. It's like stepping into someone's life for a moment. That's a
I
real
feel
song.
it's pretty intimate.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
it's like a down on your knees moment. And, I do feel like it's
yeah.
from a perspective that many of us know that
Mm,
that moment when you've really like gotten on your knees and said, please, anything. And
mhm,
it's right in that moment that's
mhm.
where that song is.
Everyone had that during the pandemic at some point.
Yeah. Now,
And then-
that song, funny thing about that song is I was writing that song, sitting with my guitar, writing some lyrics, working it out. And another song that's on the record just popped into my head. And I'm like, what is that? And I started like playing this other song. And I'm like, that's pretty cool. But
You got a
I'm kind of
dueling.
in the middle of writing this song. I'm like, but this song, but this song, but this song. I wrote those two songs at the same time. And the other song is it's called The Truth. So,
That's right.
so
Yes.
check out
Yeah.
The Truth.
Towards the end, and you balanced them out on
and-
the album.
Yeah. And listen to them and think that they came at the same time. And they both are,
Wow.
they both have a similar theme.
Yeah,
but they're
that's what I'm
very,
saying.
they're
There's
very
a-
different. They're very different.
It's a very spiritual album as a whole in different ways. You know what I mean? That's what I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is some interesting things going on. Tell us about the videos, because the videos are super cool and everyone should follow you on YouTube, Facebook, go to shelleyking.com, right? Is that I
Right.
gotta
Mhm.
yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
don't make me look at notes.
No, you just gotta spell
shelleyking.com.
Shelley right. It's with the
Oh,
EY.
EY.
Yeah. Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
she's got the E in there, but
The extra E.
yeah, Facebook, and keep up on Facebook for when you do those live streams, you know, so people
Right.
can hang
Right.
out.
And I'll
Um,
post where my schedule is. That I'll post that up
Yeah.
on social media
Well,
and
you've
stuff.
been, I want to get to the videos, but real quick, you have been traveling a ton. You were in Alaska. You were like,
Yeah.
I know when you and I were talking on Facebook, I'm like, where the hell is she now? You know, and it's like, I feel like a kindred soul on that, because we're always somewhere else, but you've been all over. You've been overseas. You've been like, are you glad to be home? Are you
Yeah,
home for a while or what?
I love traveling.
Yeah.
So it's still exciting for me, you know, getting to go places I've never been, and also getting to go places that I have been, because I kind
Yeah.
of made friends there and know
Yeah.
stuff, you know. So I love traveling, so that works great for me. Yes, luckily I've gotten to go to Europe a couple of times in the last year. We just got back from Alaska. We have the last half of June, we'll be on the East Coast. I think we're going
Sweet.
through the Carolinas and then all the way
Oh
up.
God, maybe we'll be
Definitely
able to
New
see
York.
you.
Yeah.
Holy
Yeah.
cow. We'll
Yeah.
be there.
So I
Oh.
think that's all posted on my website. And if not, I'm
Okay.
posting it on social media daily. We will be on the West Coast in July. And,
Sweet.
you know, and these are driving dates. So, I mean, on the way to the West Coast, we'll be playing like Santa Fe, New Mexico, and Albuquerque, and
You got to go to
you
Tucson.
know,
We'll be there in
that kind of
July. I'm
thing.
like, come on.
There might be a Tucson date. I think
Sweet.
they might be working on one in July.
Oh,
I'll
you've
let
got
you
to
know
go to,
for
you've got to
sure.
go to
Yeah.
Tucson, man. Awesome.
But
Awesome.
yeah, just having a good time traveling, and I love that a lot. So
Well, yeah, and you get
still
to meet
still
new
into that.
audiences. You know what I mean? That's too. And then you
Yeah.
get fodder for more songwriting, right? Do you ever,
Right.
I mean, come
Oh,
on, Texas
yeah.
Eagle, right? So that's part of it, is getting those, you know.
Totally. I you know, just having never been to Alaska until last weekend.
Oh
So
man.
so incredibly beautiful. I know there's stuff in there I can, you know, grab for imagery and songs. It was
Mm.
so peaceful and gorgeous, and
Oh
we
man.
saw the northern lights over a glacier. It was
Like,
just
dude, no way.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
It's
that's insane.
amazing.
Isn't it amazing? So video, let's go to the videos. Madam Mystic.
Oh yeah,
and-
yeah.
oh my
So
gosh,
Madam
come on.
Mystic, the title track, that's about a fortune teller, and
Right.
kind of was me with playing with those tarot cards a little bit. I
Mm.
started going, you know, hey, maybe I'm Madam Mystic, the fortune teller. In my head, I could see like go into a fortune teller that was like maybe at a fair, you know, has a
Oh yeah.
tent, and you go in there. So in the video, John Magnie from the Subdudes is Madam Mystic.
Yeah.
And he's amazing. He's hilarious. And we all just kind of gather in there. There's some incredible dancers and actors from Fort Collins area that are in on that shot, but also Steve Amedée from the Subdudes, he's like the juggler guy.
Yeah,
And
that's
Carolyn
funny.
Wonderland comes in and
Yeah.
does her little whistle that she does on the record. And my friend Debbie, you'll see her kind of walk through and briefly meet with Madam Mystic. You know, she's like a little customer that comes through
It's
while all
funny.
this stuff is going on. And you'll see her character in my other video, Time Means Nothing, because she was
That's a
so
good one
good.
too.
So she's a great actress. And so Madam Mystic was a lot of fun. We recorded it in Fort Collins in a like a mystic kind of bookstore, what do you call it? Like metaphysical bookstore where you can
Oh,
buy
cool.
crystals
Oh, that's
and
cool.
cool stuff. And yeah, it was so great.
I mean,
And
that's fun. Yeah. I mean,
it,
doing the videos is like a creative.
it was
Did
so
you
fun.
come up with what's going to happen in the video?
On Time Means, no, on Madam Mystic, John Magnie directed that. He came up with a whole plan. I just kind of showed up and brought some props, you know. He came up with that whole plan. It was totally hilarious. The other one, Time Means Nothing, I came up with that one and directed that one. And it was my first time to direct like a real video. I've made videos. I made the Kick Up Your Heels video, but
Yeah.
it was pandemic time and we
Yeah.
couldn't go on location and shoot with other actors. So we had to cut in like footage of our friends that we already had or stuff that we acted out in our own backyard, you know. So that was a different kind of thing. But for Time Means Nothing, we got to have all of us on location and
That's
in close
awesome.
quarters. We had a time machine. Our time portal was an elevator. And so we were all like probably 10 of us crammed in this elevator for half a day. So good thing we can get close again. But
Yeah, right.
that video was part of it was shot in a historic clock tower in downtown Denver.
No way.
Super cool. It was breathtaking. I searched and searched for clock towers. I really wanted to include a clock tower in this.
And what's
Time
behind
Means Nothing. Yes.
that whole
Yes.
background is so cool.
Right. They
you
let
know?
me go up in it. That's all real. And yes. And that's in Denver. And I looked all over the country, all over the world, actually. And nobody would let me up in their clock tower. It's
I
like
beg your
clock towers
pardon.
are cool, but we only let this one dude go up there, you know, and
Yeah.
set the clock and sweep, and nobody else goes up there. No, you can't take a video crew up there. So Denver, they're like, come
Okay, all right.
on,
Next
invite
time
your
you do a
friends.
video, I want you up in a lighthouse
Okay.
because that would be trippy cool with the way the glass and the lenses are and stuff. That would be like really cool to do, I think.
All right. We got to find a cool lighthouse that'll let me up in it, and I'll write the song for it.
Here's my lighthouse song, you know, but
Yeah.
that I think
Watching
that
the
would really,
horizon.
I know, but the lighthouses are but actually putting these together is part of that other creative kind of, you know,
It, yeah.
excitement.
We had a lot of fun with those videos.
Well,
And
building a fire, that
yeah.
was fun. I mean, it's
that
like
was
that.
the John Magnie video. He directed that one too. Yeah, that
Well,
was
there's that.
crazy
It
fun.
reminds me of you're building the fire. It reminds me of there's this thing where you burn people, not people, but like if people are, you want to get things out of your life. So we're going into Madam Mystic style. You write a list of like people
Right.
that are, you know, these are not good people, or they've done bad things to you, or whatever. You write this list on a piece of paper and then you burn them and say, I'm done with thee. I'm done with thee, or something like that. You have another drink or whatever.
You let
and
it
you
off.
burn, yeah, you burn it. It's like it's out of my life. That or whatever incidents or whatever kind of thing. I don't know, but to me,
What
these are
I
just
like
parties.
to do with a similar ritual is to I believe we do it on a full moon. Full moon is closure.
Yeah,
Full moon is closure. So you do it on a full moon, and you can do that for closure. I think it's a new moon when you should do your abundance ceremony. I can't really recall. I'd probably have to look that up.
But you see, you're
do
like
the abundance on the full moon or the new moon? Probably the new moon.
I think it's a new moon because you want abundance, and
Right.
then the full moon is like the closure of it.
So the abundance thing is you just get a piece of paper and you write down everything you want. Every
Is this
dream,
Christmas again?
no matter how goofy it would make, write down the dreams that you don't want to tell anybody because you don't want them laughing at you because it's like so huge. everything. You write everything down. You fill up a whole piece of paper of everything you possibly want. And then you take it out on that new moon and you light it up and you send your intentions, intentions up into the universe, and you get abundance. That's part of an abundance ceremony. Another good idea is write yourself a check. Do you know about this one?
No.
Sit down. If you have an old check that you can use, cool.
Like, do we all have checkbooks anymore?
I don't think anybody has a check. I don't even know where my checks are anymore. So you can just like design a check, just draw one, pay to the order of myself, and you sign it. The universe is going to pay. Okay.
All right.
And write as much as you want. You want $1 million, you want $1 billion, you want just eternal happiness, whatever you want, put it on your check, carry that around in your wallet.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's an abundance thing.
It's a manifestation.
Right. Yeah. And when you start putting the good stuff out, you get the good stuff back.
It's true. And it's the same thing as when your hands are closed, your fists, this is what Nancy always tells me. If your fists are closed, you can't acceect.
Because that's a good one. I like that.
Yeah. I like this. You're the only person I know who does like when it's a new month, you're supposed to say hair when you go to sleep and rabbit in the morning. I saw you doing that on Facebook. I'm like, I never remember ever.
I don't
ever.
either.
And I always say, and I'm like, dang it.
I always forget too, but then like I have a friend who always remembers, and every once in a while I'll see hers and go, oh yeah, I haven't said anything yet, because it's supposed to be the first thing you say. So I'm like, I haven't said anything yet. So I'm like, okay, rabbit.
I know.
Some people are like, what are you talking about?
It's supposed to be I thought it was supposed to be the first and last thing the last thing before you go to bed, you say rabbit in the morning, or hair and then rabbit in the morning. It's the first thing you think of. I don't know.
Sounds good. I probably would not think
it's all about bunnies. Bunnies manifest and
yeah, they sure do.
Yeah, there's a bunch running around out here in the creek area.
Aww.
They are, but I'm taking care of a dog that wants to get them. So I'm getting my exercise in the mountains of Appalachia. That's a good thing. So more travel on the horizon.
Definitely. Yes,
coming up. So that's good. Yeah, you're saying, yeah. So everyone, ShelleyKing.com is the place, Shelley with the EY. But before you go, I'm not letting you go with, I know we mentioned tequila and wine. That's it. Without food, we can't do that. We always talk about food on the show with you.
Oh,
so if you were going to make, what's in that jug? Just kidding. It's a nice cup. I know. It's what everybody says. What is in that cup, Lisa? And I'm like, I don't know. It could be hot chocolate today. Whatever you want it to be. Hot chocolate. Nah. If you were going to make something to eat or drink that goes with the album Mystic, what would it be?
Ooh, drink that goes with the album. That's a good question. Let me think. Like if I'm going to have I should have thought about this in advance and had like
I didn't even think about it until now.
But now I'm thinking like, okay, like I'm going to have a Madam Mystic dinner party. Well,
my God. And who are you going to invite? Oh God.
You know what I definitely have to have is one of those cocktails that smokes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
you seen like the old fashioned, did you get the smoked old fashioned? I think a smoked old fashioned for sure. So we'll have like a specialty bar.
Absinthe.
You come to my party. Yes, we'll have some absinthe available, but we're going to have a specialty bar where they're going to make like a hickory plank smoked old fashioned, because a hickory is the state tree of Texas. It's actually pecan, same thing, hickory. So we'll do a pecan smoke old fashioned. So we'll have the little smoke come. It'll be a little cosmic. What else can we have?
We need to have interesting treats. It has to have interesting cosmically. Who do you want to come to this? Like, who would you want that you could sit and learn from, like alive or dead?
Ooh, that's cool.
Okay, well,
Willie Nelson. Willie Nelson's here. Oh. Boom. Willie.
Yeah. And what's
and his guy
that
just rolls for him. Those two are here.
Yeah. Lucas has got to go, and Micah.
Yeah.
They have to all go. They're awesome.
They're here. They're going to be in the party. Okay.
And Ryan Bingham has to go because
of course.
I can't
Did you
believe
know
you
about
have
this?
this demo tape. Holy cow. I'm sitting there
Yes.
going,
And it had like
I
written in
love him.
Sharpie, like for booking call, written in
It's
Sharpie.
sweet.
And he wrote me
But
like
he
the
is
sweetest
so good.
note.
I bought an album of his from Amazon. A friend sent me, I did some testimonial, something for her, and she sent me a gift card for Amazon. And I'm like, oh, music. All right. Well, this I'll do. I'll buy music. And I just saw his name and I had no clue. And this was before his Oscar and all that stuff. And I got hooked into his music. And we'd go out and, we would drive around the borderlands in southern Arizona listening to his music. And it went with it because it was just, you were right there by Mexico. And it became like road trip music for me. And eventually we interviewed him. But I was like, this guy is amazing. This goes with the Southwest. I feel the dirt in there.
Totally.
And you that, like, that's amazing that old school thing, that demo tape.
It just proves I'm a pack rat.
No, but it also,
I go through my demos or my CD collection and I found this one and it was from 2001 or 2002. I don't know.
Wow.
I figured out he was like 19 years old and it was,
wow.
I expected it to be like a little 3-song demo and I put it in and played it. It's a full album and it's solo. It's just him and his guitar and it's like an hour long.
That's like a precious little bootleg,
I kept it.
Yeah. Sure. I mean, so that's that manifestation. Look where he's gone. Like, look how
yes.
blossomed, totally. He's grown and he's got his own bourbon, I think, or whiskey or whatever.
Very cool.
You should invite him to the
bourbon.
Yeah,
he'll be here. He's providing the bourbon for the bar. That's
and the
good.
entertainment.
Willie, he's going to be here. He's got that part covered.
Yeah, he's got the roller, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. I say Alan Toussaint.
Okay.
To Alan Toussaint, definitely. If you're not, check him out. He was an amazing songwriter, piano player, singer, New Orleans. But
I said so Toussaint, but I can't pronounce anything in Louisiana.
Toussaint. Everybody says it different. Yeah. So Alan Toussaint, I would have him here. Levon Helm would be here for sure. There's no doubt about
Cindy
it.
Cash.
Oh, of course, Cindy's here. Yeah, Cindy, all my buds. Cindy, Carolyn Wonderland, Marsha Ball.
Subdudes.
They're all here. Subdudes are here, definitely.
Someone's catering this, by the way. I know it'll be your recipes, but someone's catering it.
It's a great party. Yeah, and so far all we have are drinks and willy weed and cool people.
Yeah, if we have willy weed, we're gonna need
some food. We're gonna need some food. Okay. What should we get? We gotta have some people are vegetarian, so we gotta have some cool veggie stuff going on. Falafel. So we just need to invite some chefs.
It should be some world kind of cuisine, like fusion cuisine.
Yeah,
because that's good. So vegetarians, you could do like falafel balls.
Yeah,
and hummusy kind of
falafels. And they like pasta, but we might have somebody that's gluten-free. So we might have a gluten-free pasta thing too. See, I'm just now
I've got a recipe
hip
for
to everybody's
brownies.
Food things. I was thinking the other day that I had a dinner party years ago, just another couple that I invited over, and I didn't even think about it was a long time ago, and I didn't even think about dietary restrictions. And I made a shrimp Alfredo, and she was allergic to shrimp, and he was allergic to dairy. So it was like, you want a cocktail? So you got to check, or you got to have options. So yeah, we'll have a gluten-free pasta option. We'll have a big salad. But what are we going to have for the other stuff?
Well, dessert is I got gluten-free brownies for desserts.
Ooh, those are the best.
And they have poppy seeds in them, so you might even be happier than you thought. Okay, so we got that.
We got it all now.
Gluten-free brownies for everyone. But you've got to have like a main thing. What about a taco bar since you're in Austin?
Yeah,
you can get
we're actually pretty good at taco bars around here. That's not.
You can get a taco truck.
Yeah, we can just pull it right back here. We'll do it here. We'll pull a taco truck out here in the backyard, and we'll have the bar open, and we'll just set up. We'll have a little music going. So that sounds like a pretty good party.
Can we have a piñata?
Definitely.
Yeah, and we have to have something to burn things. We're gonna burn stuff.
We got a fire pit way in the back. We're gonna have
so we're gonna burn stuff. So
we can
burn
make our intentions and set those on fire.
So we can do it in the full moon or the end. We can do whatever. It's that twilight. this is a good party, girl.
This is going to be
Always
great.
fun. It's like, yeah. And then we're going to say goodbye. And go, what the hell? I want to go to the
But
party.
when's the party?
I want to go to the party. I know. I love it. It is always good to see you, and continued success. 10 albums. That feels pretty accomplished, you know?
Feels good. Feels
10
good. But now I
albums,
got
that's
to
good.
start writing the 11th.
I know. 11. There's
It's
got to
a
be
whole
something about the
process. Takes
number
a while to
11.
write.
Well,
Yeah.
well, 11, 11.
11's very, very, yes. Okay. You're right. It'll be my
Ooh.
11th album. So I should release it on November 11th.
11, 11.
It probably won't be this year. It'll probably be the next year. But yeah, 11,
Yeah,
11.
but 11,
Look for
11
that.
is kind of cool.
It is super cool.
Yeah. All right. That's a good follow-up to Madam Mystic. She knows. Don't mess
Yay.
with her. All right. Take care, Shelley. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It's great to talk to you.
You too.
Step right up, come on in. Madam Mystic will begin to see your truth in the stars. Visions in her tarot cards. Don't try to move on. Cast the runes, light the flame. Don't believe I caught your name. Seated in her velvet chair, pulled into the gypsy's lair. Don't try to move on. Hey lady, look into my eyes. Tell me I'll be blessed. Tell me that you see it all. Love, money, success. Sugar pie, honey bunch. Let me take you out to lunch. Fortune teller told you so. Said you better let it go. And try to move on. Looked into her crystal ball, saw the future in the leaves. Maybe not your cup of tea, so try to move on. Hey lady, look into my eyes. Tell me I'll be blessed. Tell me that you see it all. Love, money, success. Madam Mystic, cast your spells. Help me hear those words.